the dust where the wild winds blow. There was a man in camel skin by the Jordan calling out to sin. Prepare the way, make straight the road. The kingdom's near, return to God. Crowds came down from town and field with broken hearts and wounds concealed. In the water they were made new, confessing all they once held true. He said, I'm not the one you seek. There's one to come, far more than me. Oh, the heavens open wide, Spirit falling like a dove in flight. A voice said, this is my Son, beloved one, the chosen one. In the quiet, in the wild, God spoke down over his child. Out in the desert, alone he stayed 40 days where shadows prayed. Tempted there, yet standing strong among the beasts where he belonged. Angels came and met his need in the silence, planting seeds. Back to Galilee he came, preaching truth in the Father's name. The time fulfilled, the kingdom's near. Turn around, let go of fear. By the sea he saw them there, casting nets in open air. Follow me, he gently said, I'll make you fish for souls instead. Oh, they left it all behind, boats and nets in shifting tide. Something stirred deep in their bones, calling them to the unknown. In his voice, a steady flame. Nothing ever stayed the same. In the synagogue that day he spoke with power, not like they. A man cried out with troubled breath, bound by chains of living death. Be still, he said, come out, be free. And darkness fled immediately. All were amazed at what they'd seen. Authority so strong, so clean. To Simon's house as night drew near, a fever held his mother there. He took her hand, she rose again, strength restored from deep within. By the door the whole town came, sick and broken, worn by pain. He healed their wounds, cast demons out, wouldn't let them speak his crown. Before the dawn he slipped away to a quiet place to pray. They searched for him. Where have you gone? He said, we've more to journey on. Through every town his message spread, hope for hearts long left for dead. A leper came and bowed so low, if you will, you can make me whole. Moved with mercy, hand outstretched, I am willing, he confessed. Skin made clean, the curse undone, grace revealed through God's own Son. Go say nothing, show the priest, but the man ran wild with peace. Soon the crowds would overflow, and Jesus walked where few would go. Out in quiet, lonely land, still the people sought his hand. In the wilderness a voice still goes, through the dust, through the rise and fall. Make straight the way, make straight the way. The town was buzzing low, whispers carried he's back home. Back in Capernaum again, word spread fast from friend to friend. The house was filled, no room to stand. Every doorway, every span. 4 men came with a burdened soul, a friend who could not walk at all. They climbed the roof, tore it apart, lowered him down with hopeful hearts. Jesus saw their faith that day, spoke words no one could explain. Son, your sins are washed away. Mercy fell where he once lay. But the teachers whispered low, only God can say that. So then he said, so you may see. Rise, take up your bed, walk free. And he stood on steady feet, carried home what once held him weak. Amazement filled the crowded room, like light that breaks a heavy gloom. By the shore he walked once more, saw Levi at the tax booth door. Follow me was all he said. Levi rose, old life now dead. At the table sinners came, all the lost, the blind, the lame. Pharisees stood back and judged. Why eat with those so unloved? He said, the sick are who I came for, not the ones who need no cure. I've come to call the lost. Grace is free, but love has cost. They asked him, why don't your men fast like others do with prayers they cast? He said, the bridegroom's with them now. Joy is here, don't question how. Days will come when he is gone, then they'll fast and mourn what's wrong. No patching new on worn out cloth, no new wine where the old is lost. The kingdom's not what you contain, it's something new you can't restrain. On the Sabbath through the grain, hungry hands brushed heads away. Pharisees said, this is wrong, you break the law we've held so long. Jesus said, have you not read how David once was hungry, fed? The Sabbath wasn't made to bind, but made for rest, for all mankind. Oh, the Son of Man stands free, Lord of all, even history, not confined to rule or line. He brings mercy every time. Chains of law can't hold his grace. Love has come to take their place. Oh, can you hear it now? A different kind of kingdom sound, not built on fear, but built on grace. Right before their eyes, face to face. There's a tension in the air. Lines are drawn, but no one's clear. In the synagogue once more, a man stood by with a withered arm. Eyes were watching, hearts were hard, waiting there to find a charge. Is it right to heal today? On the Sabbath, yes or no? Jesus looked around in grief at the silence they would show. Is it good to save a life, or let it fade away? Stretch your hand, he gently said. Life returned where hope had fled, but anger burned where grace was shown. Plans were made to take him down. Oh, the light that heals the soul can expose a heart of stone. To the sea he slipped away, but crowds came close from miles away. From every land, from every shore, broken lives were wanting more. They pressed in close just to be near. Every sickness, every fear, even demons cried his name. Falling down in trembling shame, up the mountain, quiet call, he chose 12 among them all. Names like stones in history laid, ordinary men remade. Simon, James, and John beside Andrew, Philip walking wide. Matthew, Thomas, sons unknown, built a kingdom not their own. Sent to preach and set men free, carry truth to land and sea. Power given, not their own. Seeds of something heaven grown. In their weakness, strength would rise through the calling in his eyes. Back at home, the crowd pressed in, no time left to rest or mend. Family came to take him back, saying he's lost track, he's cracked. Teachers came with darker claims, he cast out by evil's name. Jesus spoke in steady tone, her house divided won't stand long. How can darkness cast out night? How can wrong make something right? A strong man bound, the house undone, when someone stronger has begun. Every sin can be erased, every word of hate replaced, but the heart that calls like dark cuts itself off, leaves a mark, a warning wrapped in mercy's plea. Don't deny what you can see. Listen close, don't turn away. Then they said your family's near, standing outside calling clear. Jesus looked at those inside with steady love and open eyes. Who's my mother, brother's kin? Those who walk the will within. God's own heart, God's own plan. That's my blood, that's my clan. Oh, a new kind of family his call. There's a place now for us all. Can you hear him say your name in the crowd? It's still the same. Stretch your hand, come follow me. Step into eternity.
By the water he sat down. Crowds gathered all around. From a boat he taught the shore simple words that carried more. A farmer went to sow his seed, scattered wide for all in need. Some fell on the hardened ground. Birds came quick, no root was found. Some on stones where soil was thin, sprang up fast, then caved within. Some were choked by thorns that grew, crowded out what once was true. But some fell on the open earth, took down roots and gave back birth. 30, 60, 100-fold. Hearts that hear and choose to hold. Oh, if you've got ears to hear, let it land and settle here. When the crowd had drifted home, he explained to those alone, the seed's the word, the soil's the heart, different places where you start. Some won't hear, it's taken fast. Some won't hold when trials pass. Some get lost in worry's weight, chasing wealth that suffocates. But the ones who take it deep, hold it fast and let it keep growing steady, bearing fruit. Life that's anchored firm and true. So let it fall on open ground, not just heard, but lived out loud. Hidden things will be revealed, every truth will be unsealed. What you hear, hold carefully, it will shape your destiny. No one lights a lamp to hide under baskets pushed aside. Set it high so all can see. Light was meant for clarity. Measure out what you receive. It comes back in what you believe. Little seeds you cannot see, growing to eternity. The kingdom's like a hidden field, growing while the night it is sealed. Man may sleep and rise again, but he can't command the end. First the blade, then grain appears, slowly formed through passing years. Or a seed so small and slight, barely seen with human sight, yet it grows into a tree, branches wide for all to be. Birds will rest within its shade, life from something once so plain. Small beginnings, greater things. There's the evening shadows fell. He said, let's cross the water swell. Waves rose high and winds grew wild. Still he slept there like a child. Fear took hold, they cried aloud. Don't you care, we're going down. He stood up and faced the sea, spoke with calm authority. Peace, be still, the storm obeyed. Wind and waves fell back in place. Why so afraid? Where's your faith? Silence filled the crashing waves. Even winds and seas comply at the sound of his reply. Who is this the waters hear? Even storms bow down in fear. In the calm and in the fight, he holds the dark, he speaks the light. Across the water, into the dark, where broken souls bear hidden scars. They reached the shore of a distant land, where no one dared, no one would stand. A man lived wild among the graves, bound by chains he always broke away. Night and day he cried in pain, cut by stones, lost and strained. But when he saw him from afar, he ran and fell where Jesus was. A voice cried out from deep within, what have you to do with me? Legion was the name he gave, 1,000 shadows, none to save. Jesus spoke, the darkness fled. Peace returned where fear had lived. From the tombs to clothed and sane, grace had broken every chain. The demons begged for one request, to the herd of swine, send us there instead. He allowed and they rushed in, down the hillside to their end. The town came out but fear took hold at the power they'd just been shown. They asked him, leave, just go away. Not ready for a change that day. The man restored fell at his feet, let me come, go where you lead. Jesus said, no, stay and tell what the Lord has done so well. So he went through every street, sharing mercy he'd received. From the ashes, from the grave, he became a living praise. What was lost is now redeemed, all because the King has seen. Across the water wide, crowds pressed in from every side. A ruler came with desperate eyes. My little girl is close to dying. Jesus went without delay. Hope was walking on the way. In the crowd, a quiet plea, a woman moved so secretly. 12 long years of silent pain, spent her life for no true gain. If I touch his robe, she thought, I'll be healed from all I fought. Through the press, her hand reached through, and in that touch, her healing grew. Jesus stopped and turned around. Who has touched me in this crowd? Trembling, she fell to the ground, fear and faith both pouring out. Daughter, you are healed, he said. Go in peace, be comforted. Not just body, but her soul, made completely, fully whole. Faith can move through silent cries, even in the crowded noise. Then the news came cold and clear. Your little girl, she's gone from here. Jesus said, don't be afraid, only trust. Don't let it fade into the house. The sorrow loud, mourners wept within the crowd. Why this noise? She's not gone, he said. But they just laughed at what he said. He took her hand so small and still, little girl, arise, be healed. Life returned her
grace you can receive.
Back to a familiar place where love meets doubt face to face. He walked into his hometown streets among the ones he used to meet. On the Sabbath he began teaching there with steady hand, but whispers rose, is this not he? The carpenter from Galilee, we know his family, his name. How can he speak with such a claim? He said a prophet's honored wide, except where he is known inside. And wonder turned to disbelief, familiar eyes refused to see. He healed a few, but not the same, where hardened hearts would block the flame. Oh, the nearness of his grace can still be missed face to face. Then two by two he sent them out, with nothing more than faith and doubt. No extra bread, no silver stored, just the message of the Lord. Shake the dust where you're denied, stay where peace and truth abide. They healed the sick, called hearts to turn, lighting fires that slowly burned. Oh, they walked in borrowed strength, carrying a message heaven sent, not by might and not by gold, but by a truth that must be told. Now Herod heard the growing name, story spreading like a flame. Is it John come back again, or Elijah among men? For he remembered what he'd done to silence truth he couldn't outrun. At a feast of pride and wine, a reckless vow crossed the line. A dancing girl, a whispered plea, a head on a platter silently. John the Baptist's voice, once strong, fell to power, fell to wrong. Oh, the news returned with heavy air, the disciples gathered there. All we've seen and all we've done, he said, come rest, come everyone. But crowds arrived before they could, like sheep without a shepherd stood. He saw their need, his heart was moved, and taught them truth that gently proved. The day grew long, the food was gone, the crowd still pressed and carried on. 5 loaves, 2 fish they placed before, a simple meal to feed so more. He blessed, he broke, he gave away, and fed them all that very day. Thousands filled and satisfied with leftovers still beside. He sent them off across the sea, while he went up alone to be. In the quiet there he prayed, as night fell soft and shadows stayed. But winds arose against their way, and they strained till break of day. Then on the water in the night came a figure in the light. Take heart, it's me, don't be afraid. chaos bends his will, yet their hearts were slow to see all the signs of who he'd be. When they reached the distant shore, the sick were brought from every door, laid in streets both weak and warm, begging just to touch his garment's hem, and all who reached were made restored by the mercy of the Lord. Oh, in rejection still he came, in the storm he spoke his name, in our hunger he provides, in our fear he walks beside. From the broken to the whole, he is healer of the soul. Do you see or turn away? Do you hear what he will say? In the crowd or in the storm, he's still reaching, still transforming. Hands washed clean, but hearts unclear. Something deeper drawing near. They gathered close from far and wide, watching him with careful eyes. Why don't your men keep the ways, traditions passed from ancient days? Jesus sighed, you honor well with your lips, but hearts have fell far from God while clinging tight to rules that keep you in the night. You trade the truth for what you've made and call it holy anyway. Oh, it's not what you hold outside, it's the things you try to hide from the heart. The darkness flows, every secret, every ghost. What defiles is born within, not the dust upon your skin. You set aside what God has said for empty words that you've instead even honor cast away for vows that let you disobey. The crowd leaned in to hear him speak a truth both simple and yet deep. It's not the food, it's not the hand that makes you clean or makes you stand. It's the thoughts, the words, the will that shape the soul and linger still. Later on, in quiet space, they asked him more to clarify. He said, don't you understand? It's the heart that marks a man. Evil thoughts and prideful ways, greed and lies that cloud your days. All these rise from deep inside. That's the place you cannot hide 'em. Search me now, deeper still. Then he traveled far away to Tyre where shadows stayed. A woman came with pleading eyes, free my daughter from these ties. He said the children must be fed before the crumbs are widely spread. But she replied with humble grace, faith was written on her
tongues were born he'd never hear, though he said, tell no one now. They spread the news in every town. Oh, he does all things so well, breaks the chains no man can tell, opens ears and frees the tongue, gives a voice to everyone. From the heart, flesh and bone, he restores what's overthrown. Not by rule, not by show, but by a truth the heart must know. Clean me deep where none can see, set the hidden places free.
Out in the wilderness again, hungry hearts among the sand. 3 long days, no food to spare. Still they stayed, they lingered there. He said, I won't send them away. They'll lose their strength along the way. 7 loaves were all they had. A few small fish, it seemed so sad. But he gave thanks, began to break, more than enough for all to take. Oh, he feeds the soul and the need. From the little comes the seed. 4,000 filled and satisfied, with more left over by their side. In the desert he provides, open hands and heaven replies. Then the Pharisees appeared, demanding signs to make it clear. He sighed deep within his chest at hearts that would not find their rest. No sign will come, he turned away from those who would not choose to stay. On the boat, the bread was gone, just 1 loaf to carry on. He said, beware the hidden rise, the yeast of pride, the blinded eyes. But they just thought of what they lacked, still missing what was right and back. Do you see, or are you blind? Do you hear, or close your mind? You saw the loaves, you saw the bread, still you doubt what lies ahead. Hearts grown dull and eyes that fade, missing all the signs displayed. Oh, the miracle in plain sight, still unseen in fading light. To Bethsaida they arrived, a blind man brought their hope alive. Jesus led him out alone, away from crowd, away from stone. Touched his eyes, said, tell me now. I see like trees, but walking somehow. Once again he touched his sight, clarity came into the light. Now he saw both clear and true, every line and every hue. Step by step his vision came, not all at once, but not the same. Or sometimes sight is slowly grown as grace reveals what's always known. Open eyes, open heart. On the road to Caesarea, he asked them all a deeper word. Who do people say I am? They spoke what they had heard from men. But then he looked into their souls. Who do you say the truest call? Peter spoke with fire and breath. "You're the Christ," he finally said. But he warned them not to tell, for a road they knew not well. He began to show the cost, how the Son would suffer loss, rejected, killed, and rise again, a path that none could comprehend. Peter pulled him close aside. "Not this way," he tried to guide. Jesus turned, his words cut deep. "Get behind me, don't mislead. You don't see the things of God, but only what this world has taught. If you wanna follow me, lay your life down willingly. Take your cross and lose your claim. Only then you'll find your name. What's the gain to hold the world if your soul is left unfurled? Who do you say he is? In the quiet, answer this. Lose your life to find it true. The road is hard, but it leads to you. Open up your Bible to Mark chapter 9 and witness the radiance of Jesus with me. Some will see before they fade, a glimpse of glory not delayed. Up the mountain, set apart, he took them close, drew in their hearts, and there he changed before their eyes. Clothed in light, no earth could die. Moses stood and Elijah near, talking of what soon was here. Peter spoke, though unaware, "Let's build a place and keep you there." But a cloud came rolling in, a voice that shook them deep within. "This is my Son, hear his word," the only voice that must be heard. Then the light was gone from view, just Jesus standing steady, true. Coming down, he spoke it plain, "Tell no one till I rise again." They questioned what that rising meant, still unsure where it was sent. "Why must Elijah come before he has?" he said. But they wanted more. Back below where chaos stirred, a desperate cry, a father's word. "My son is seized, thrown to the ground. No peace or rest can he be found. Your disciples tried in vain. If you can help relieve this pain," Jesus said, "If I can believe, all things are possible to those who see." "I believe, help my doubt," he cried, torn between the truth inside. Jesus spoke, the Spirit fled, lifted up what once seemed dead. Faith may tremble, faith may bend, but reaching out still finds his hand. In the valley he is near, later on they asked alone, "Why couldn't we cast it out?" He said, "Some chains won't break apart without deep prayer.
Through Galilee he walked unseen, teaching what it all would mean. The Son of Man will be betrayed, killed and rise on the third day. But they were scared to ask him why. Confusion lingered in their minds. Instead they argued on the way. Who is greatest? Who would say? He sat them down and called a child, set him near with a tender smile. Wanna be first, then take the last. Serve them all, don't chase the past. Who receives the least of these receives not just them, but me. John said, we saw a man today casting demons in your name. We try to stop him in this place. He does not walk within our space. Jesus said, don't close the door. If he's not against, he's for. Even water freely given holds its place and shines in heaven. Then his tone grew firm and strong, a warning where the heart goes wrong. Don't lead the little ones astray. Better lose it all today. Cut off what pulls your soul apart. Guard your life, protect your heart. Oh, the fire that makes us clean burns away what lies between. Salt the life and keep the peace. Let division finally cease. In the small in sacrifice, that's the path to greater life. From the mountain to the dust, from the glory to the trust, I believe. Though faith feels thin, help my unbelief within.
What do we hold? What do we release? Where do we find what brings us peace? Crowds gathered as he taught again. Questions came from testing men. Is it right to break the vow? They tried to trap him somehow. He said from the start it was made. Two as one, not torn or swayed. What God is joined, let none divide. A sacred bond, not cast aside. Or from the beginning it was love, written down from God above. Not for breaking, not for show, but a truth the heart should know. Little children gathered near, reaching out without a fear. But the disciples turned them back, thinking they were off the track. Jesus said, now let them come. Don't you block the little ones, for their kingdom looks like this. Open hands and simple trust. Oh, receive it like a child, not with pride or wisdom styled. Humble hearts will find the door to a life forevermore. Then a man came running fast, fell before him breathless, asked, what must I do to gain that life that outlasts this world of strife? Jesus said, you know the way, keep the words you've heard and say. All these things I've done, he cried, still a longing deep inside. Jesus looked with love so wide, one thing more you must decide. Sell it all and follow me. Let go what you think you need, but sorrow fell upon his face. Riches held him in their place. Oh, it's hard for hearts that cling to release and trust the King. What we hold can hold us too. They were stunned at what he said. Who can make it through, they pled. He replied, with man no way, but with God a different day. Peter said, we left it all. Jesus answered to the call. No one leaves without return, more than all they could have earned. Though with trials still they'll see light that lasts eternally. Many first will fall behind, many last will rise in time. On the road to Jerusalem he walked ahead, they followed him. Fear and wonder filled their pace as he set his steady face. Soon I'll suffer, be betrayed, mocked and beaten, then be slain. But on the third I'll rise again. Still they struggle to understand. James and John came quietly, grant us seats of dignity. One on left and one on right, in your coming power and light. Jesus said, you do not know what it takes, the path you chose. Can you drink the cup I drink, walk the road that leads so deep? Greatness isn't what you claim, it's found in serving, not a name. Even I did not come to be served, but to serve you. Give my life a ransom paid, that's the price true love has made. Near the road as they went by sat a man who could not see. Bartimaeus heard the sound. What is this that's passing now? Jesus of Nazareth, they said. He cried out with all he had, Son of David, hear my plea. Though they tried to silence him, he'd speak. Have mercy now, don't pass me by. Faith was rising in his cry. Jesus stopped and called him near. Tell me what you want right here. I want to see. The blind man said, go, your faith has healed, he said. Sight restored, he followed on down the road where hope had dawned, leaving darkness far behind with new vision, heart aligned. Oh, the ones who cry his name walk away no more the same. Now what will you hold? What will you leave? What will you trust? What will you believe? Call his name, don't be denied. He still stops and hears your cry.
Hey, the road bends toward the city gates where praise and pressure intertwine. Near the Mount of Olives his side, he sent two on ahead to find a coat untied, no rider yet. Bring it here, don't you forget. If they ask, just say it plain. The Lord has need, then walk away. They found it just as he had said, and brought it back to where he led. Cloaks were laid upon the road, branches cut where palms had grown. Hosanna filled the air that day. Blessed is he who leads the way. Kingdom of our father's line, David's reign now come in time. Riding low yet crowned in praise, a humble king in holy ways. He entered and looked all around, the temple courts, the sacred ground. But evening fell, the hour grew late, so back to Bethany he stayed. The morning came, his hunger stirred. A fig tree stood with leaves that burned, but fruit was nowhere to be found. Though life appeared on outward ground, he said, "May none now eat from you." A quiet word yet cutting through. Leaves can hide what isn't there. Into the temple once again he saw the trade, the weight of sin. Tables turned, coins hit the floor. He drove them out beyond the doors. "My house was meant for prayer," he cried, "but you've made it where thieves hide." The leaders heard and fear took root. His words exposed their hollow fruit. All zeal burned bright within his chest, for truth, for God, for righteousness. Not for show, not for gain, but to restore what should remain. When worship's lost in empty hands, he calls it back to sacred ground. They passed the fig tree once again. Its roots were dry, its life had end. Peter spoke in disbelief. How did it wither so beneath? Jesus said, "Have faith in God, trust beyond what you have known. Speak to mountains in your way, believe and they will move someday. Pray with hearts that truly trust. Forgive as God has forgiven us. Stand in faith, release the weight. Let no bitterness remain. What you ask in prayer, believe, and you'll find what you receive." Back again within the courts, leaders came with sharp retorts. "By what authority do you stand? Who gave this power in your hands?" He replied, "First answer me. John's baptism, what could it be?" They feared the crowd, they feared the cost, so truth was something they had lost. "We don't know," was their reply. So he said, "Then neither will I." Oh, when hearts refuse the light, truth stays hidden from their sight. Authority they could not see stood before them silently. Praise can rise and fade away. Hearts can shift from day to day, but truth remains, it stands alone. What will you build your life upon? Stories told with hidden flame, truth wrapped up in a farmer's frame. A man once planted a vineyard wide, built a wall and set a watchtower high.
leased it out, then went away. At harvest time he sent to claim, but the servants came back bruised and torn, beaten down and cast with scorn. Again and again he sent them there, but none were welcomed, none were spared. Then he sent his only son. Surely they will hear this one. But they said, let's take his place, kill the air and claim the space, or the stone the builders cast aside becomes the one they can't deny. They knew he spoke these words of them, but fear of crowds restrained their hand. So they left, but plans were made to trap him in the words he'd say. Should we pay the tax or not? A loaded question tightly wrought. He said, show me what you hold, whose image stamped upon this gold? Caesar's came, their quick reply. Then give to him what bears his sign, and give to God what's truly his, the heart, the soul, the life you live. Not just coins or outward show, but all you are, both high and low. Then came those who don't believe in life beyond what they can see. A question spun to mark the claim of resurrection's holy name. He said, you miss what God has said. He's God of life, not of the dead. In heaven's realm, things won't remain like earthly ties we try to frame. Oh, the living God still speaks through ancient words and mysteries, not confined to what we know, but greater than what we can hold. The scribe came near with honest tone, which command stands all alone? Jesus said, hear this above, the Lord is one and he is love. Love him with your heart and soul, with all your strength be fully whole, and love your neighbor as your own. In this the truth of God is shown. No greater call, no higher way than love that lives out every day. The scribe replied, you speak what's true. Jesus said, you're not far through. And from that point no questions came, no one dared to test his name. He said, how can they claim the Christ is only David's son by right? For David called him Lord above. There's more to him than flesh and blood. Something deeper, something more. Beware the ones in flowing robes who love the praise and highest thrones. They speak long prayers, but hearts are cold, and take from those they should uphold. And then he sat where offerings fell, watching what the people gave. The rich dropped in their shining sums from all the wealth that they had known. But one poor widow stepped in line, dropped 2 coins, her final time. He called them close and said, now see, this gift holds more than all of these. For she gave all she had to live, not from plenty but to give. All heaven sees what man ignores, the quiet faith the heart pours. Not the size but sacrifice that echoes loud in God's own eyes. What do we hold? What do we bring? What do we lay before the King? In the small and hidden ways he sees the heart, he knows the praise.
so strong they seem to stand, but nothing here stays in our hands. They marveled at the temple walls, how these stones will never fall. But he said the day will come, not one will stand upon another one. So they asked on Olives' side, when will these things come alive? He said, be careful what you hear. Not every voice is true or clear. Many will come and claim my name, lead hearts astray with empty flame. Wars will rise and nations shake, but this is not the end you face. Like birth pains starting in the night, a coming storm, a greater light. You'll stand accused, you'll stand alone, dragged before both courts and thrones. But don't prepare what you will say, the Spirit will speak on that day. Brother turned on brother's name, hatred falling like the rain. But the one who endures the flame will stand and rise beyond the pain. Hold on through the shifting ground, when fear and darkness gather round. The truth you carry, don't let go. It's deeper than what you can know. Through every trial, through every test, faith will prove what stands the best. When you see the place defiled, where it should not stand or rise, those in Judea run away. Don't look back, don't delay. Pray it won't be winter's cold, for those days will break the soul. A time of sorrow like none before. If those days were not cut short, none would stand or find the door. But for the ones he's chosen still, mercy bends the coming will. If they say, look here he's near, or there he is, don't draw near. False signs rise to lead astray, even hearts that know the way. Don't be shaken, don't be moved, stand on what you know is true. I have told you all ahead, so you won't be misled. Then the sun will lose its light, stars will fall from heaven's height, power shake beyond the sky, all creation testifies. Then you'll see the Son of Man coming in with power in his hand. He'll gather all from every land, every heart held in his plan. From the ends of earth and sky, he will call his people nigh. In the chaos, in the flame, he will know you by your name. All that fades will pass away, but his words are here to stay. Learn the lesson from the tree. When the leaves begin to breathe, you can tell the season's near. Signs are written loud and clear. This generation will not fade till these things have been displayed. Heaven and earth may fall, but no one knows the hour or day. Not the angels, not the sun would say. Only God, who holds the time, knows the end and knows the line. So stay awake, don't drift asleep. God Are you watching? Are you still listening beyond your will? In the waiting, in the unknown, stand awake, you're not alone.
Shadows fall, the hour draws near. Love and loss are both right here. 2 days out, the leaders planned how to take him quiet, unmanned. Not during the feast, they said, or the crowd might rise instead. But in a house in Bethany, a different kind of scene would be. A woman came with costly grace, poured it out upon his face, like perfume falling to the ground. A love too deep to count or sound. Some said, what a waste this is. But he said, remember this. Wherever this good news is told, her offering will still unfold. Then Judas walked into the night to trade his name for silver's bite. 30 coins for heaven's king, a quiet deal, a hidden sting. At the table bread was torn, a sacred night before the storm. Take and eat, this is my frame, given up in love and pain. Cup was passed from hand to hand, my blood poured out for every man. A covenant in crimson sealed, a mystery yet to be revealed. Oh, remember me when you partake in the bread you choose to break. In the cup of sacrifice, there is life beyond this night, but one will turn and walk away. Betrayal sits among you now. They said, is it I? One by one, each unsure of what was to come. He said, the one who dips with me will hand me to my enemy. To Gethsemane they went, where olive trees stood heaven sent. He told them, stay, keep watch with me, then fell down in agony. Father, if this cup could pass, still your will, not mine, at last. Sweat like blood upon the ground, in surrender hope is found. He rose to find them fast asleep, while he carried something deep. Stay awake, he called again, but their eyes gave in to them. The hour's here, the night has come. Then the crowd with swords arrived. Judas came and kissed his side, a sign of love turned into hate, a moment sealing heaven's fate. They seized him there without delay, as his friends all fled away. Before the court the voices rose, false accounts that no one knows. Are you the Christ? They pressed him hard. He answered plain, no more to guard. You'll see the sun at heaven's side, coming back in power and light. They tore their robes, declared his blame, condemned the truth, denied his name. Spit struck the Holy One, blindfolded mocked what he had done. Oh, the weight of silent grace, standing firm in that dark place. Outside, below, beside the fire, Peter stood as fear climbed higher. You were with him, voices claimed, but he denied the name again. 3 times down the rooster cried, and Peter broke undone inside. All the ones who walk so near still can fall when gripped by fear, but Christ will meet the broken heart, even when we fall apart. In the dark before the dawn, love remains, it carries on. Silver fades and courage bends, but mercy waits where truth descends. In the garden, in the flame, he still calls us by our name. Morning breaks, but hope feels thin. The weight of sin is closing in. At the break of early dawn, they bound him up and led him on to Pilate's court, the Roman hand, to judge a king they couldn't stand. Are you the king? The question came. He said, you speak it as my name. Accusations filled the air, but he stood silent, standing there. Truth stood still before the lie, innocence condemned to die. Pilate saw no fault within, but bowed beneath the crowd's demand. Release for us Barabbas now, crucify this king, they shouted loud. They took him in and stripped him down, placed on him a mocking crown, wove with thorns upon his head, a robe of purple stained in red. They struck him, knelt in cruel disguise. Hail the king through bitter cries. Oh, the one who made the sky stood beneath their blinded eyes, mocked and beaten, torn and bruised. Love rejected, truth refused. Still he bore what we had done, silent as the suffering sun. They led him out to Calvary, a hill of shame and agony. Simon pulled from passing by to help him carry what would lie, the cross that weighed with more than wood, the weight of all misunderstood. They nailed his hands, they raised him high between the earth and darkened sky. Save yourself, the voices cried. If you're the king, then come alive. But love stayed there, it did not move, for it was something he must prove. Not by power breaking through, but by the cross he carried through. Darkness fell at midday's height, 3 long hours without the light. Then he cried with aching breath, my God, why have you left? The veil was torn from top to end, a way was opened once again. The silence broke. The price was paid. One stood watching near the cross, a Roman guard who saw the cost. He said, surely this was true. This was God's own son for you. From afar the women stayed, faithful there though hope seemed frayed. They had followed, they had known
before the Sabbath took its course. Joseph came with quiet grace, asked to take the body's place, wrapped him in a linen shroud, laid him where no one had been found, rolled the stone across the door, sealed in silence evermore. Oh, the darkest hour had come, the setting of the rising sun. All seemed lost, the story done, but this was not the final one. In the grave beneath the stone, hope was waiting, not alone. In the silence, in the night, hidden from the human sight, what feels like end may just begin. Love will rise, it always wins.
The stone was sealed, the night was long. Hope felt buried, love felt gone. At the rising of the sun, three came grieving hearts undone, spices in their trembling hands, walking slow to where he'd been. Who will roll the stone away? Heavy thoughts at break of day, but when they looked, the stone was moved. Something shifted, something new. Fear and wonder filled the air, an empty silence waiting there. Oh, the grave could not hold him down. Death has lost its power now. What was sealed has been undone. The risen victory has begun. He is not where sorrow stays. He has risen just as he said. Hope is waking from the grave. The living walks where death once lay. Stepping in their breath stood still, not what death was meant to fill. Clothed in white, a voice spoke clear. Do not be afraid, he's not here. Jesus, who was crucified, he is risen, he's alive. Go and tell what you have seen. He goes before you, just as he said he'd be. Every word he spoke was true. Now the grave has given proof. Oh, the grave could not hold him down. Death has lost its power now. What was sealed has been undone. The risen victory has begun. He is not where sorrow stays. He has risen just as he said. Hope is waking from the grave. The living walks where death once lay. Then he met them on the hill, spoke with power, calm and still. All authority's mine alone. Go make disciples, make me known. Teach them all that I have said. Baptize them as they are led. And behold, I'll be your guide to the end. I'm by your side. Oh, he led them out. He raised his hands, blessed them there as he gave command. and as they watched, he was lifted high, taken up before their eyes. Now he reigns forevermore, seated high, the risen Lord. And the message still goes on through his death and rising sun. Not by works, not by our hand, but by grace we now can stand. All who trust in him will live by the life he came to give. From the grave to heaven's throne, still his presence leads us on. Oh, the grave cannot hold him down. Death has lost its power now. Lift your voice and let it ring. Jesus lives, the risen King. He goes before, he makes a way, calling us from fear to faith, from the cross to empty grave. He has risen, he has saved. The tomb is empty, hope restored. Jesus Christ is risen.